Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be interviewing Kelly. No, I'm just kidding. You go.
Oh, I was loving it. I was going to play along.
Oh, really? Oh, well, we fucked it up. Sorry. My apologies. Yeah. Well, I fucked it up
Hi,
really.
Evan.
Not
It's
you.
really fun to have you on. I love having you. You're a really cool guy.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
This is going to be fun. This is going to be really fun.
Ah, damn it. Why did I agree to this?
I
Okay.
can't. I can't even find my video. Okay, hold on. Confronting Our Demons, the show where we talk about what makes us tick, especially the parts that may be scary to face. Initially, I'm inviting a guest on whose objective personality 512 type is opposite to mine in some way. That's because the top and bottom functions and animals in objective personality are called saviors and demons. My savior animals are blast and sleep, and my demon animals are consume and play. My guests will have consume and play, saviors, and blast and sleep demons. We'll have other opposites as well, and we'll likely have things in common too. Maybe in sharing how we function, we can learn a thing or two. Maybe we'll even find the cheat code to unlock God mode and reach our full potential. Probably not exactly. We all have our own roads to travel. I just want to have really interesting conversations that help us see each other and ourselves for who we truly are. If this works out the way I want it to, we're going to learn something and we're going to have some fun. I hope you stay for the ride and enjoy. And I'd really love to hear what things you've learned and what you want to learn next time and what was most fun for you. So let me know in the comments below. Let's get started. I have a really good guest on today. We're going to do this
So
now.
you didn't hear my question.
No, I did not. What is your
So
question?
I asked you, did you put all those cuts in on purpose because it psychologically triggers people's dopamine? There's actually a name for it. I can't remember the name, but a lot of YouTubers do it where they deliberately put cuts and then it keeps people engaged somehow.
Yes, I did that entirely on purpose. It's not because I can't finish a sentence properly.
It's kind of like how if you have a male rat and you keep introducing different female rats, it'll keep fucking them until it's like exhausted.
Yeah, no. It's just because I can't talk, obviously.
No, you're blast first, so you're supposed to be able to do this.
Well, apparently I can't.
Yeah, so anyway, so
yeah, no, that's why though. It's no, I would love to say that it was for some fancy stuff, but it was more that I just, I can't be bothered to memorize my own writing. And so I just do it one line at a time.
Couldn't you just put like a this is how I do it. I'd have it written in big letters behind the camera so I can just read it and it looks like I'm looking at the camera.
If I could do that, I would. I'm trying to figure that out, especially with, I don't know if you see my eyeball, right? Keeping that eyeball straight is really difficult.
You're very pixelated, so I don't
I'm
really see.
pixelated?
Yeah.
I must be having internet problems today. That must be what's happening. Because I don't look pixelated to me.
And there's delay, so I'm hearing noise and then your mouth's moving.
Okay, hold on. How is that now?
Oh, go back. Go back to less lighting.
Hello? Is that
wow,
better?
there's like a 3-second delay between sound and mouse movement.
We're going to end the broadcast and I'm going to restart it.
Yeah, okay. Should we start over then?
Really appreciate you coming on. I usually start with the little blaster lesson. Let's do that. And you tell me if it comes up okay?
Okay. These troubles and then we can still be decided. No, oh, wait. Okay. So we're supposed to be learning how to double decide, correct?
Yeah, we are.
So that means we need to have observer problems. So we're basically doing our demons kind of, right?
Right. By just having different problems. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, so
I like it. Yeah, we're cool.
Territory.
Right, we're cool with people, right? We're cool with people.
Totally. Yeah.
So I'm an EJ and IP, which basically means I'm a tribe decider and you're a self decider, right? That's what that kind of means. I'm alpha quadrant, you're beta quadrant, and we're both double activated on our energy animal, right? But I'm just double activated on the blast and you're double activated on the consume. And in fact, our animal stacks are reversed, right? They're completely reversed.
Yeah.
And I, funny enough, I had Sheila on last week, and she was just a tick away from you. She's FISE,
Yeah.
but everything else is the same. But because of that, because we're on the same observer axis, not observer axis, on the same decider axis, you've got the feminine feeling and I've got the masculine feeling, and vice
Yeah.
versa.
Mm-hmm.
But we both have our masculine decider up at the top.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I love always how that math works out, right? My double masculine is FS blast, and your double masculine is NT sleep, and it's a demon for you. Mine's a savior. And you've got, if you look at our animals down there, like we both have STSF up at the top and NTNF at the bottom. And your double masculine, double feminine animals are play and sleep in the middle, which is interesting because and those are the energy animals, right? And you've got them in the middle there. And I've got my energy animals in the middle, but my masculine, double feminine are, the info animals at the top and bottom, which I just find fascinating.
I kind of wish you had like a pointer so I knew what you're talking about.
I know there's no pointer when I use this. I have to figure out a way to, make a pointer happen here.
You can use it like Microsoft Paint to put a pointer in at the end. And I'll just like nod along like I pretend I know like what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah. So any thoughts about this before we go just talk about normal people stuff?
No. I will later.
Okay. I can always bring it back up again if we want to reference it. So, why'd you come on? Why'd you agree to come on my little teeny tiny channel?
I don't really care about the size of the channel. I just find these kind of channels useful as a database. So when I'm typing, for example, last week's was Emma Watson, I had some kind of ideas for who she might be. And then I'd look up that type on like your channel and Kendrick's channel and just wherever else. I'd look up celebrities and be like, does this person kind of seem the same? And the conclusion is often no. So I kind of know they're not that type, but then I just have to find out what they are later when the answer comes out.
Okay.
So it's kind of a useful resource. So just for science, I always agree to go on these things.
Oh, so do you also, like, when you die, do you have the little checkbox off that you're going to donate your body to science?
I think I do, yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know if that's a check. That's organs. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Maybe that's not a checkbox. Yeah. But you're sort of putting yourself out there for others to consume as a data point.
Yeah, who said I'm a selfish dick, right?
Right. That's awesome. Oh, cool. So what are you, like, during this experience, what are you hoping to get out of it?
I didn't plan anything to get out of this.
Oh, okay. What's that like?
I don't know. Like, I guess it's just because I'm OE. I just kind of like, yeah, okay, cool. Let's go see what happens. So wait, so you wouldn't go on an interview unless you were going to get something out of it?
Not necessarily get something out of it, but like I would have sort of. You said you said I didn't really have a plan for this, or like I didn't really have a plan for how I thought this was going to be, and I just want to pick up on what that life is like.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of fun to just do things sometimes.
Yeah. Why? What happens when you just like go with the flow? Or
So I got the play above sleep, and my sleep is double masculine. So from my perspective, what it seems like is the masculine functions are like stronger or better, and the feminine ones are kind of clumsy. But because I'm play over sleep, even though I feel like I'm dominated by the sleep, like I'm always even now I'll go off into some kind of visual land. If someone offers to play, I'll almost always just say yes and go with it.
Oh,
Whereas I
yeah?
imagine if I was sleep, whether it's double masculine or double feminine, doesn't matter. I would be more likely to choose the sleep over the play. And so to me, when someone asks, why do you just go with the play over the sleep, or why did you agree to come on the interview? It's just kind of like, well, I mean, that's the easiest compulsion to follow.
Okay.
And it's fun. I'll get like, enjoyment out of it. So it's really like, in my mind, not complicated of a decision to just decide to go on the channel.
Do you ever find that, like, that sort of thing, like, just like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that." Does that become like a life pile for you that causes you problems later?
Yeah. So I've had situations where, well, especially if I need to get something done and someone's like, hey, Evan, want to go do this like silly bullshit?
Mhm.
I'll say yes. And then I didn't get the thing done. And then I'll feel the stress of like, now I've got all these things to do. Like in school, it'd be like, there's all these homework assignments. I need to clean my room. I need to I've had this obligation with someone. I promised I'd do something and like I haven't done it yet because I went rock climbing or something.
Mhm.
Just all the stuff piles up. Or like I'll have a project, for example, like I want to start a business or I want to, I don't know, what's some other blast thing? I don't know, let's just go with that. Let's say like I want to start a business. It like never gets done because I'm too busy like reading about something or going rock climbing or go for a bushwalk or just whatever.
Yeah, it's really funny?
No.
I have basic No, you don't. I'm going to tell
Yeah,
you.
please explain. Yeah.
I have basically the same problem, except it's like, as you would expect, inverted, right? So, like, where you were saying, I'll go rock climbing or I'll go do this, it's, "Oh, this person needs some help. I'll go help them do this. I'll go help them do this. I'll go help them do this." And then all of a sudden I realized, "Oh, right, there's this thing I wanted to do for myself and it's still not done."
Yeah, it sounds like it sucks.
Right? It's the same problem. Or like with the OE being open, and it's like, you make a plan enough, right? And then all of a sudden, as soon you make the perfect plan, and as soon as any like random thing comes in, it's like it's messed up, and now you have to start all over.
So what about the sleep? Do you sometimes people invite you to do something and you're like, nah, I just want to like lie around or something?
Oh, all the time. Oh, all the time.
Right.
Yeah, so much so that I really thought that I was like either sleep or play last. I couldn't tell which one I was, but I thought I was like, I had a sense I was demon play, but I thought it was very much at the bottom. But I
Yeah,
very
right.
much see how it's a consume problem and not a play problem.
True. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll still drag myself out if I'm messed up. Like I have to be really exhausted to basically turn down some kind of fun activity.
Really?
Yeah, I'll still
Wow.
do it because I'm not sleep last. Like I'll
Yeah.
eventually just be like, nah, look, I'm really tired, but sometimes I'll just end up not being tired once I start, and
Mhm.
then that tiredness, I guess, piles up and has to be dealt with later.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I'll randomly have a day where I feel really like munted, and that'll be a day where I'm just like, nah, I'm tired. But that's like one day, and then the next few days I'll go do fun things.
Wow. I just can't even imagine that. Um so we were talking before, and I think it's hilarious, your story about how you thought you were an ESTP.
Oh yeah, we should have started with that, eh?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's go into that story because I think it's fantastic. Fan bloody tastic. So, like, start.
Yeah. So before getting typed, I thought for sure I was demon sensory because this is after I told my friends this, they were just like, yeah, that's a very classic you thing to do. And it seems very demon s, but it's actually just feminine s. Um,
Mhm.
basically, I got my type result back, and what it actually said in the email was FFTISE
Mhm.
um, but I read it as SETI for some reason, and I read over that multiple times, and it was SETI in my head every time. And so I know something about the masculine intuition, at least for me, is like the brain is this kind of, maybe it's just seeing what it wants to see, or like it's just some Darren Brown thing happened where someone planted a seed at some point in time, and that caused me to my brain to interpret the stimulus how it chose to, because our brains are just filtering out and twisting things all the time. So I thought I was an ESTP, and so the first thing I did was look up all the ESTPs of my type, my exact type, in the Airtable, and I found the famous ones. I looked at all the YouTubers, and I looked at like patterns, like, okay, what are their life problems? How do I solve this?
Right.
And I found Lewis Howes' books like very good. I mean, because it's still a very similar type to me, so I still got a lot of value out of reading his books and seeing those types. But it was always a focus on like having your vision in mind and like going towards the vision. And there were all these different tools to like keep basically how to keep focused on your vision. And in my mind, that wasn't too complicated. But then throughout the book, it'd be like, so if you want to start a business, you just go and talk to people, and you know, you use your sales skills. It didn't really explain how. And I'm like, how the fuck are you just doing it? Am I like some kind of broken ESTP or something? Because I always thought the F to me seemed a lot more daunting, like the FE.
Right.
And so in my mind, for this 2 weeks where I thought I was an ESTP, I kept thinking the ISTPs and the INTPs must be having some serious problems if I'm having these problems as a double decider. And then so that was kind of weird. I didn't think my N was that bad either. So I was like, well, maybe the demon's not really that bad. Maybe it is like actually just my problem, my laziness, my own issues. It's not anything to do with my type or whatever. Then I forget what happened. I think Dan.
You were submitting your things so that you could get onto the Discord with your things,
Yeah,
with your tags. And it
yeah.
was,
And then,
you
so
said before when you, go ahead.
yeah, Dan told me I should join the Discord, and
Right.
so he put me in touch with Brian, and then he wanted to see my proof of type. So I checked the email and I read it, and I was like, huh? TISE? And then I had to reprocess my type all over again.
That is just
A lot of things made a lot of sense. I was like, okay, no wonder I have trouble with the FE.
right.
And no wonder I don't have trouble with the N so much. It makes a lot more sense to me now. But I feel really bad because I went on Kendrick's channel before I knew, and so we all thought I was an ESTP. So I've got like this real cringe video where like I think I'm an ESTP talking about what it's like.
Well, first of all, I think that is fascinating, for a completely different reason, which I'll get to in a moment. But when I was watching that one, it was interesting. There was this particular moment where he had asked you about like how the pandemic has been affecting you, and you said something about how you think ESTP friends, or who were like really getting
Observers, yeah, and they were freaking out, and I wasn't, and I was like, what the
right.
fuck?
You're like, it's not really bothering me that much.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
right?
I was not bothered by the whole chaos control thing. Like, it's like, oh, we control it for a lot, like just a little while. We have a lockdown, and then we'll come out of it. And if we don't, that's when we start protesting, right?
Right.
Like, wait for them to actually overstep, and then we start protesting. But it seemed like they wanted to freak out way too early.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And it was even funny. You were like, wait until they, right? Right. It was a very like, okay, I see the situation. This could go a couple of different ways. I'll, but then once they get out of line, I'm ready to fight.
Yeah,
Right.
once the Illuminati or whatever,
Right.
it just felt like they wanted to fight immediately without
Mm-hmm.
considering the overall scenario. They'd rather jump to COVID is fake than
Yeah.
maybe there's a reason we have to do this. It's fun, the whole thing real strange. Like I'm quite happy to get on their side if I actually see a legit problem arise. And as a double observer, apparently that makes me the authority on that. So I just if I see an observer freak out about that, I'm just like, yeah, shut up, whatever. Like, give me advice on how to solve my people problems, please.
So it's interesting because but at the same time you were able to, like you said, you went on a deep dive and you were like, you tried to find, things in which could help you process your type. And I mean, it's not like you had your whole type, misunderstood, right? You just were the click off on the observer and decider, which is a pretty big click, right? Um, but yeah, isn't it interesting that like you get a framework of understanding and then you sort of like, do you find that you sort of like make the sensory match into that understanding?
Sorry to be a censor, but could you explain what you mean?
Yeah. So like in the way that, okay, so say you got your type back at first, you thought it said SETI.
Yeah.
And so then how hard were you trying, or how
Right.
easy was it for you? Yeah.
So basically, I just know that because I've studied quite a bit of non-ops psychology just on my own time, and I know that people do that. Like our brains will always interpret things the way we want it to be, and so that's why I just do so many double takes all the time.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not too like embarrassed about it or anything. It's like whatever. That's what our brains do, and I know I do that often. Like I'll be looking for something, my keys will be right there, and I don't see it.
Oh my
And if I
gosh.
look long enough, sometimes I see it like manifest, and it's like, well, okay, there we go. Like I didn't have a chance.
Right?
Something needs to be resolved, maybe psychologically in my head, in regards to my self-image in relation to finding things or something like that, and then maybe
Right.
that will like click something, and then later I'll be able to find things. I don't know what that is yet, but
Yeah.
it just kind of seems obvious that people have these problems, and so when it arises, it's just kind of like, well, okay, that's just the nature of being human. Um, Sometimes we see things, we mishear things, we misremember things. Memory is classically unreliable for humans. That's why we need to, like if you're talking to a manager, you fucking record it so he can't say he said something else and whatever later and you get in trouble.
Right.
The benefits of I guess this is where like you get the INFJs freak out like oh man, it's a surveillance society. Well, there's benefits to that. You protect yourself too.
Yeah.
You can't just misremember things. Other people can't misremember things. They can't claim you'll misremember things, but they're actually like trying to screw you over. Saves me the decider thinking people are going to screw you over. But
Right.
yeah. Sorry, what were we talking about? I kind of forgot.
We were talking, yeah. We were talking, well, I was asking the question of like, I find it fascinating even just, having this framework. This is a different framework even than like traditional MBTI, right? Like, they'll like, can you make the sensory match what your preconceived notion is, right? Like, that's what we were talking about. And you were talking about then how, you can just understand things like you do that all the time as humans. We
Yes,
do that
yes.
all the
So
time.
our brains are always trying to do that. And so sorry to shit on the consume last, but it seems like consume last do that quite a lot. Like
It's fine.
I used to have a friend who I would watch ops videos with, and Dave and Sham would say something, and he'd be like, he'd go on a rant about what he thinks they meant, but you could tell he totally misheard what they said,
Mm-hmm.
or like he just didn't take it all in, and he just twisted it, and I was like, what are you talking about? And it just kind of like he'd get really aggressive about like, no, this is what Dave and Sham said, and I'm like, well, let's just rewind and double check it. He's like, no, I don't have to rewind it, and we
Oh,
rewind it and prove him wrong, and
yeah.
then he's mad about it, and I'm the dick.
Right. Right.
But that just happens so many times that we just stopped watching the videos together.
That
Um,
sucks.
so I know people do
Yeah.
this, and I do it with visual things. So like I don't see
Mm.
things, but it seems like some people do it with hearing things or interpreting what people are saying. They just like interpret it the way they want the other person to be saying things or whatever.
Oh, I so did that in high school one time, right? So like I had, and I don't know if it was I read it wrong or whatever, but like they were talking about indentured servants, right? The whole concept of indentured servants, like back in colonial America. Um, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, what's an indentured servant?
Okay, so now I don't even remember what it was, but it was like some kind of people who came over and like sort of worked their way into like yeah, you're gonna Google it, aren't you? You consume first person. Like they came over and performed, work for room and board.
Okay, yeah.
Is just what is that correct?
So the definition says a person who signs and is bound by indentures. See, now I don't even know what that means. To work for another for a specified time, especially in return for payment of travel expenses and maintenance. So now let's look up indenture.
Oh, okay. I'm seeing consume in action here.
Yeah, is how you do it. So an indenture, a contract binding one person to work for another for a given period of time. A document, no, it's not that. Formal or official. Okay, so basically it's work, a work contract of some kind.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I get the concept. Okay.
So when I was teaching in Korea, I would have been an indentured servant of some nature.
Why?
Because I signed a contract, I went there, they paid for my flight, they paid for my accommodation, and I taught English and then came back.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Oh, that's funny. Okay, well, so like in 6th grade, though, I read this. I didn't know what this is hilarious, right? I didn't know what indentured was either.
Mm-hmm.
I read it as injured.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Not only did I read it as injured, but then I must have completely stopped reading and I made up this entire story about how people who had like, and I had pictured it in my mind, like people who had like amputees were coming over and being, given work.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and so that's how I had pictured it too. Like these amputees were coming over from Europe and getting work. And that's what indentured servants were because I thought they were injured servants. And I
Right.
had an argument about it in my 6th grade class with somebody.
Yep.
And they were like, "What are you talking about? Where does it say that?" And I was like, and I so indignantly like opened up the book and went to the page and I reread it. And I was like, "It doesn't say that."
Yeah. Okay. See, I think I'd if I knew I was going to have an argument about it, I'd really make sure I had it right.
I didn't even know I was going to have an argument about it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Maybe that's something to do with TI last or me having TI first. Just sort of makes me have arguments with people. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Or when mine comes up, it just comes up out of the blue, and it's like, oh my gosh, where did you come from?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
lack of consume pile. Yeah.
It's interesting though. I've made a lot of work in my life to, question my biases and question, what I think to be true. And, I've done a lot of work in that area. So like that's a muscle that I'm used to doing. But it's interesting within the OP lens. It's another facet that I realize I'm still kind of blind to, right? So it's really neat to kind of dig into that a little bit more and kind of like unpack it just even more, right? And kind of understand like maybe sort of like how it's happening or why it's happening.
Hey, I got a question, kind of related, kind of unrelated.
Yeah.
But like, so have you seen the sort of recent-ish videos that Dave and Shan did about the IPs? And basically, he had
Yes.
like a thing of text down the bottom, and he was reading it because he had written it the night before, and it
Yeah.
was saying the IPs wake up in the morning and they're not thinking about others; they're thinking about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the EJs, they wake up and they're immediately thinking about how to help others. So that's true because I'll wake up and I'll be like, okay, what am I doing today? Okay, I need to do my meditation. I need to prepare breakfast. How much time do I have? Is that possible? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go to work, come back, work out, do my second meditation. Then I'll go hang out with friends. Then I come back, go to sleep. That would be like what is going through my head in the morning. There's nothing to do with helping others there. You could say like hanging out with others is really just for me too. But it was all just like, what am I doing today? So what's going through your head when you wake up in the morning?
As you were describing that, I was like, what? I'm thinking about myself too. Like I have to be thinking about myself. But oh, hello, person who's saying weird things.
Because my solution to that would be, okay, every morning I have to force myself to think, okay, what can I do for at least one other person today? Which I didn't do today. But maybe I'll do it tomorrow. But yeah, if I have the plan to consciously every morning be like, okay, so I'm going to do, I wake up, do my meditation, eat breakfast, do my workout if I'm doing that in the morning, not in the evening. Go ask this person if they need help with something for like 30 minutes and then go to work. Or maybe I have to do it after work, so I'd, maybe switch it around. But go to work, go help someone with something, then go hang out with friends, then eat dinner, go to bed, whatever.
Yeah.
That would be, in my mind, how to balance the FETI thing, like
Yeah.
the DEI axis.
What,
So
for you or for
me to balance it, being an IP, I'd have to force myself to do something for someone else. But I just assumed for you, you'd wake up and go, okay, I need to help Alex with something. Sarah needed help with blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to go see if she needs help with that. I'm going to go tell these people to go do this thing to clean the house or whatever.
Yeah. So, when you first were saying that, I was like, no, of course I think about myself. But as you were talking and giving your examples, I realized that I'm not. And I don't even realize that I'm not.
Yeah,
I
because the
am.
logic tells me you're not doing anything for yourself. But even those things, I'm like, okay, well, I had to meditate, I had to work out, I had to work. Those for me are just like disciplinary things I have to do. Like I still didn't do something fun, so then I have to do something fun for myself, or I'm gonna just want to kill myself. And whoops, it's nighttime, can't help anyone. Sorry. Whereas you must be going,
Whoops, it's nighttime. Guess I'm not exercising today.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are you waking up and going, okay, Evan needs to meditate, so I'll leave him alone. Then this is assuming we like live together theoretically. So you'd be like, okay, Evan's meditating, we'll leave him alone. Then he's gonna work out, we'll leave him alone. He's gonna go to work, so maybe I'll make him dinner or something. And then he comes home and fucking he wants playtime, so we'll do playtime. We'll do what he wants to do, and then we'll go to bed. You'd be doing that for your husband.
No, not so much because my husband's in my DI.
Okay, yeah, how's that work?
Yeah.
I'm kind of like confused.
Yeah. So it's more the people at work, right? So it's more well, for me too, I'm always sleeping in, right?
So you're like making him help others as part of you.
Oh no, he helps me. I wouldn't survive without him. He
So
makes
he
my
helps you
breakfast.
to help others.
Yeah.
And you force him to, and if he doesn't, then what happens?
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
Right.
Like literally.
Mm-hmm.
But so like I'll get up and I'll like, be like, oh shoot, it's I'm running late again. Will needs to get to school, and he has my son. Like he has to get to school. Let's get in the car. Even so much to the point that my husband is starting the car for me. That's how late I get up in the morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, and as soon as I get home, then it's like, okay, let's just fill up my.
Why'd you get
I
up so
need some.
late? This kind of sounds like you didn't plan. Like,
Yeah, I know, right? I know. You would think I would have my crap together. No, no, I don't have my crap together. I'm sorry. Maybe other OIs have their crap together.
is
I
it
do
because
not.
you just want to sleep longer or something?
Yes, and it's usually because too I'm not getting to bed very, because I'm so like hyped at the end of the day that I can't. And maybe that's the sleep high thing. I don't know. I don't want to blame it on my code, but I
Yeah.
wonder if that's what's happening. Right? Is that I have sleep high, right? So um, I don't know. I have this idea of it being like a priority and not necessarily exactly when you do it, but still, nighttime is when I'm going, like I'm
Dave and Jen
moving at
have
night.
said this, that the sleep lasts. I mean, the sleep demons will get energy at the end of the day because they didn't expend enough during the day.
But I'm sleep savior.
Yes, that's what I mean. So the sleep
Oh,
demons, they will have energy spikes at the end of the day. Sorry, wait, no, wait, I fucked it up. Wait, hold on. The sleep saviors, yeah, the sleep saviors. Sorry, you're right. Yeah, the sleep
mm,
saviors. I did the thing. Yeah, so the sleep
oh,
saviors will have energy spikes at the end of the day because they were resting too much during the day, and theoretically the
mm-hmm.
plays they crash easier at the end, unless we're still playing, in which case we just don't stop and then yeah.
Yeah. So then, yeah, I forget what were we saying. So then I'm, I right. So I need some coffee. I get some coffee when I get home from dropping my kid off, and then I'm hopping on to my huddle, my morning huddle, that is on a video call with 12 other people, which is like
Mhm.
the most awesome thing to do first thing in the morning. And then I get to work. I'm in the middle of doing like a bottom up cleanup of work. And I'm almost done that. And when I get done that, I'm going to have it so that I can have things labeled again. I used to have things labeled. It just, things got a little bit more messy and I didn't have like the proper system to handle the mess. So now I'm trying to build a system that will grow exponentially as the mess gets bigger, right? We'll see how that works. That's how I'm trying to do it.
See, I
But
bet if I saw your desk, it's probably really tidy.
right now it is because I got myself back in order. I was in a bad place for the last couple of months. I was in a really bad place.
Bad place how?
Um, it was just I was so burnt out. I couldn't even move.
I'm sorry to hear you had a struggle
It's
the
fine.
last 2 months.
Yeah, it was probably like the whole wave, the whole tsunami was about 6 to 8 months. It really started in March of 2020, but
What was the tidal wave? Was it a consume tidal wave, or was it like a play tidal wave, or was it just like work?
it was yeah, probably a consume, right? Right, or like which one's like too much blasting, you know? Not
So
enough consume. It was
so
really
like
a DI
literally in the
tidal
sensory,
wave.
what was happening that was the problem?
Yeah. So literally, I don't know. I could blame all of the sensory, but if you want the sensory, right? Like so, I run an IT department. In March 2020. We had to go remote, and I had to manage all of that. Us all going remote, right? And then we were already in the middle of like 1,000 projects. I ended up having to regroup on some of our personnel. I had somebody going on maternity. It was just like one big project after another, and there was no let up. There was no let up. And I mean, that's when the kids were remote from school. It was just a whole new world that it was just like do, no time to stop, right? And already being a workaholic, now I'm working from home 100% of the time, which I thought I would love, being a sleep
Hmm.
savior. But I would not turn it off. I did
Sounds
not
to me
turn.
like it's DE DI tidal wave.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
somewhere in there, I would have been like, nah, this is too much for me. You go do this. I'm not going to do it.
I didn't even
And
realize. I was blind. When you're in it, I was blind. Sorry, I interrupted you. You would have done what?
oh, if I was getting overwhelmed because I'm
Uh-huh.
helping too many people, at some
Yeah.
point I would have been like, nah, I'm not doing this. You do it yourself.
Yeah.
And I probably just do that too much, and that's my DE tidal wave.
Like I'm not doing this. I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I
So
want to
yeah,
try
I
this
thought it
thing.
was for some reason I jumped to it'd have to be a consume tidal wave because I was just looking at your thing and I saw consume at the end.
Uh-huh.
Um, I just ignored the rest of your code. But yeah, it was probably like a DI tidal wave more so than a consume tidal wave.
Yeah. Yeah. It's probably more of a DI tidal wave.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. But it's funny that the solution I'm finding is like almost like a blast for myself, right?
So
Mhm.
if you had no work or anything, like if you had the freedom to somehow just delegate tasks to everyone else, so you can do nothing,
Mhm.
and like you had to do nothing, look, because I know you just wouldn't choose to do that. If you had a gun to your head and
Uh-huh.
someone was saying you have to do what you want to do and nothing else,
Uh-huh.
and everyone else can go fuck themselves, what would you do?
Oh, that question?
And if you help others, like I shoot you, like what would you do?
It's a really hard question. That's a really hard question. I and that's what I'm kind of That's where I'm at, and that's where
So you don't know what you do.
Say it one more time.
So basically, essentially, what I'm asking is, what would you do if you had free time and you weren't helping others? But I know you're going to be like, oh, I'd help Jack and blah 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 blah. So that's why I added the parameter of like you're not allowed to help others or you die. What would you do?
I mean, it's not entirely true because I will, like, on my days off, I will, like, just be a lazy McLaserton. And just, like, play Sims all day long. You know what I mean? But, like,
so what would Dave and Shan
there's that.
seeing void?
What? Say it, I didn't hear you.
So what do you think Dave and Shan were seeing is the void in your life?
Yeah, probably that.
So do you think you need to process more what you would do? Because maybe you just go to Sims because you don't know what to do with yourself. Like, what's your truth or whatever? Oh man, crap! Guess I just play Sims. The game about the people.
Yeah, it's really developing, you know, who I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
Developing who I am.
So what you're doing to develop
Separate
who you are?
from others, right? What?
What are you doing to develop who you are?
Slow down.
It's just a simple question.
You just slow down. Yeah. What am I doing to develop who I am? Yeah. So right now I'm taking it one tiny little step at a time and trying to find consistency and space for me within conversations and within my day. So I'm trying. I'm failing completely. Like, I'm not doing it consistently yet, but it is the goal. To do things like I have like 5 minutes of exercise a day, right? Like that's what I'm talking about. Like that's the level of for me thing that I'm doing right now. You just gulped.
And like, what else do you do? Like, is that it?
And then
Like, do you
within
have some vision of like how you want to be in 10 years? Like, not what your life is like, but like what is you in 10 years?
No, I don't have a vision for that. I don't
Yeah,
know that
right.
I feel like I need to have a vision for what I need to be in the future. I just know that I want to be the type of person who doesn't feel like I have to either be all give or all take. I want to be able to give and take evenly.
Right.
What about you?
Do you think you do?
No, I'm working on it.
So what are you giving and what are you not taking?
Right, so like even within conversations or even when I'm having, you know, priority discussions at work, right, like it's like a matter of being putting myself in with the tribe, right? It's it's respecting my opinion and my viewpoints as if I was one of the people that I was trying to coordinate. Does that make any sense?
So I kind of went off somewhere else, but
Where did you go? Let's
kind
go
of
where you went. Where were you going?
yeah, we'll make it about me right now. Nah,
Please,
so
let's. This is uncomfortable.
yeah, I know it is. I kind of did it on purpose. Sorry.
I know you did.
So
No, it's good.
yeah,
It's good. You
I
pushed
was I
me.
was
That
just
was
thinking about how
awesome.
because you know how I was like, do you have some vision of who you want to be as like a character or whatever? I think that's what being DI really is if you can imagine like I don't know, like an online game where have you ever seen like World of Warcraft or any other equivalent
I
online
know of
game?
it. Yeah.
So you basically run around and you attack monsters and you level up and you get better equipment, you get better abilities, and then when problems occur, you just because you're leveled up, you can take care of it. Um, if you're not a high enough level, you can't go into certain areas because you just get killed too easily. I think the DIs, we see ourselves as a character in a video game, and we always just have to level up our stats. So I'm working out to increase my strength and my speed. I do the meditation to increase my focus. I'm learning things to increase my like intelligence or whatever, so that if some big problem occurs, I'm able to deal with it. And so I saw in some video with it was an ESFP. I forget the dude's name. It was an ESFP, and he was trying to last sort of describe this to you, and you sort of didn't seem to know what he meant. But he was saying how you see these anime characters in an anime, and they're sort of like focused on a goal, and they're trying to be a certain way. And I think when we see this, we kind of go, okay, this is what a good virtuous person does. I got to make sure that when some serious bullshit goes down, I'm going to be the guy to stand in front of the bad guy when everyone else is too pussy to do it, you know? So, you know that classic photo, the Tiananmen Square photo where there's the tank and there's the guy just standing in front of it? There are probably all these people wanting to do the same thing, but it was that guy that stood in front of it. And like Gandhi did something similar, like he sat in the middle of the road and meditated in protest. I think all the IPs or just the DIs in general are kind of just building themselves up for some kind of equivalent scenario like that, where when no one else can handle it, we know how to handle it because we worked on leveling up all of our skills. And what those skills are is going to depend on what kind of type you are. So for me, it's going to be something like parkour, fighting, knowing how to build something, knowing how to like fix some electronic thing, whatever. For like an ENTP, it'll be like, I don't know, I'm going to build the robot that takes care of the problem or something. I'm going to build the thing that cleans the atmosphere when we're all about to suffocate. I don't know what that's like for the DEs. I imagine you're helping the DIs build themselves up so they can do it or something.
Yeah. Like when you're saying like standing in front of the tank, I feel like that's my job already.
So you're kind of doing that every day.
Yeah. Like, but then I don't want to sound arrogant by saying that. But yeah, and so I guess it is. I guess it is so I'm protecting you so you can get your DI on. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's the case. Because you could put that as like peacocking helping the tribe sometime one day in the future.
Right.
But I'll do it one day when it's some big fucking calamity, right? Whereas you're just doing it every day.
Right. I have
Yeah.
to figure
So
out how
I
to
guess that's the
okay, so
delusion,
I
right?
have to work towards what you're starting from, right? So where are you starting from?
I'm
Because I have
starting
to do
from
the
my
tenant
character's
thing.
not strong enough. I need to make it stronger to help people.
You have to make your character strong enough to help people. Right.
And I guess in
Right.
my situation, maybe that situation where something bad happens where I can help never occurs. And when I die, I never actually helped anyone. All I did was build up this strong character and I never actually did anything with it.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that would be our imbalance. Like,
It's the building up the character.
hmm.
Right. Right. Because I will, especially with I think, especially with the feminine DI, right? Like I'll move, right? I'll move before I've described this before, like it's like stacking oranges, right? Like you can't. It's not a Lego block that you can stack, right? Like it'll slide off.
Yeah.
It's not um like I feel like I'm very open to feedback, right? Like but like I don't know how open I am to feedback, because is it just that I'm moving? Am I just moving so that you're comfortable, or am I actually internalizing it and letting it build my identity? Like how much of it is actually internalizing and rebuilding my identity, and how much of it is just moving so that the tribe stays comfortable, because the tribe's not going to move. I have to move around them.
Yeah, right. I think the whole character thing is just a good analogy though. Because yeah. So you're like only working on that for 5 minutes. So my mind wants to say when something happens, because you didn't level your character up enough, you won't be able to fight the monster, but you are actually fighting the monster every day. So that's where I'd be like incorrect.
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing in my mind, I'm probably building up the character, and then there's all these opportunities to use the character, and I don't. And the double deciders are probably like balanced. They're probably like constantly fighting the monsters and building up the character, fighting the monsters, building up the character.
Right. And not getting too stuck on the one. Right. And then for me too, it's like, I'm fighting the monster all day long. And then, at some point I'm like, hey, I count 2. Like, and then I have a temper tantrum.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, man. Go chillax. Go build up your own stats that you want to build up, and just
Yeah. I want to be respectful of your time. Because my clock on my computer is still broken. Something's really broken on my computer, and now it says we've only been live for 20 minutes, which I feel like we've been live more than that. I don't know if
mine says 49.
Oh, it does say 49. Something's just wrong with my computer. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, today's having issues. You can go figure that out later.
Yeah. I could just go
Do you have another question or something
let's see. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about your typing journey a little bit. I love the little avenues that we went down, right? Especially when it comes to stacking your DI. Zaki just added, he was like the stacking the oranges was a really great analogy. Do you have any favorite analogies that you use when it comes to just the video game one? Yeah. That's what you feel like you're really doing all day long, is really building that character.
Yeah, and it is really probably a waste of time. Yeah.
Did you know that you were? Did you think that you were sort of blast at the bottom, or?
Yeah. When I typed myself, I got my animals all right. I knew I was TI. I just wasn't sure if I was decider or observer. And I thought I was intuitive because of the reasons I mentioned earlier. Because, I mean, even when you take the MBTI test, the questions that are leading you to N are really about masculine intuition.
Yeah.
You're always like, do you have a lot of dreams? Do you have a vivid imagination and all that shit? Well, yeah, I do. I've got the double masculine sleep, right? So of course I say yes. And then it says you're intuitive. And then when I'm following Dave and Shan, they're like, well, yeah, it's imagination. I'm like, imagination? Yeah, I'm pretty good at that. And read your type backwards on the email. Yep. Demon S. I do that with schedules too. Lucky you did the schedule, so this wasn't a problem. But if I write things in a schedule, I know I do this, so I'm really careful about it. I'll be like, okay, on say the 8th of February, I have a doctor's appointment. So I'll write it in what I think is the 8th of February. And 8th of February comes along and I miss the appointment. 9th of February comes along. I go to the doctor and they're like, your appointment was yesterday. And I'm just like, okay, I did the thing again, right?
Right.
And I always thought that was demon sensory. Maybe it's feminine sensory, maybe it's just my own disease or whatever. But I do that all the time. But I do get that I'm savior sensor because what I'm doing all day is very SE. Things have to be proven.
Yeah.
That's how another way I'm doing the demons is now I do all the spirituality and meditation stuff. And when they say things that are woo woo, I just don't question it. I just go with it.
Oh, you just go with it, even though it sounds woo woo.
Yeah. And when I talk to people about it, I'm embarrassed because I know they're going to be like, oh, well, you believe that? And I just have to, oh, yes. Okay, fine. Yeah. Shut up. But so I did things to be proven, and the stuff I'm doing is like exercising, parkour, martial arts, jumping over things, going for walks, exploring. It is really not demon-esque. I'm trying to be good at it, even though I'm really clumsy and shitty at it because it's feminine,
Yeah.
I'm always trying to get good at it through practice. So I like to think of, like I said earlier, the masculine functions is like strength or raw talent,
Mm-hmm.
and the savior demon is just, are you putting in practice there or not? So the
Right.
feminine savior is, it's like an underdog who's practicing, and
I'm
a
writing this
masculine
down.
savior, there will be someone who has raw talent and is practicing, and a demon is like someone with talent who, if it's masculine, like someone who is talent. Fuck. A masculine demon is someone who has raw talent but is lazy. So
Oh.
it's like over time, who's going to win, the savior feminine or the masculine demon? Over time, they probably end up fairly balanced. And then my thing, demon feminine at the bottom, is just like has no talent and doesn't practice, so it's just terrible.
Huh. I wonder too how much, like, okay, so the SI for me, it's masculine and it's a savior, right? Masculine SI savior, which is supposed to be like the best memory too, by the way, which I'm sorry, but like I think consume last kind of knocks best memory down a couple pegs because you have to consume it to begin with to actually even remember it. So
If you did
um
consume it, you'd probably remember that, right?
you can't remember it. Yeah, so it's like I get caught in a conversation sometimes and like, even like on Discord and be like, "Kelly, where were we? What were we talking about?" And I'm like, "You're asking me because you expect me to remember because of the masculine SI savior, but I wasn't listening."
Yeah, right. But if you did listen, you'd remember.
Probably, yeah. But even the the organized, like you had said, like I forget what you said about how like you had expected that I would be more like sort of like strict about that or this or that, and it's just it's I would even say like that it's more I don't even think that just because it's a masculine savior means that it's stronger. Like I think it's just that there is even more pull of responsibility. Like I feel even more bad about myself when I don't do it right,
Right, right, right.
you know. Which lines up with what you were saying about, well, maybe about being lazy, right? Like maybe a feminine savior doesn't necessarily feel as, I don't know. I don't want to make judgments. I can just speak from how it feels for me. Definitely feels like it's more responsibility towards it.
Yeah, so I'm trying to be good at the sensory, but like I've got a sensory that is I guess like an underdog, like not
Right.
initially powerful.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you're like, "Oh, I can't quite do it," right? And because it's not powerful, right?
yeah, and I see masculine sensors doing things like, for example, I went to this parkour place where you practice parkour, and I'd be there practicing this thing for like weeks, and then some new guy comes in and does it first time, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Well, that's masculine sensory, right? Probably savior masculine, whereas I had to practice it over and over and over and over, and then long term,
Mm.
it really pays off because then when I learn a new skill, I know what it was like to learn the previous one, and then I can kind of just like do it first time from there.
Mhm.
But I had to build a foundation first, more so than someone who was like a masculine sensor. Um, yeah, yeah, and then having like a masculine demon NI makes it feel like it's really not that bad. Um,
Hmm.
like I'm not narrowing down and organizing things, but I feel like the understanding aspect of it is not that hard. So I get really sucked into the sleep world, and I have a lot of fun there, just trying to like figure things out. But I'm very serious about it. Like it has to be accurate, and if it's not, if something's not right, like if I can't figure something out internally, then I have to go. Like I have to stay there and figure it out, or I'm not satisfied. If someone distracts me, I'll be annoyed. Unless it's to go rock climbing, then I'll do it later when I come back. But if it's something that I'm not finding fun, like say just work, if I'm at work doing some silly bullshit on the computer or teaching someone because I was teaching English, I'll still be trying to figure out that other thing while I'm working. And then people are like, Evan, why are you not focusing on your work? We can tell you're somewhere else. I'm like, oh, yes, sorry. Like, I'm just trying to like figure this thing out, you know?
Right.
Um, so it really is like a level of priority. If it's play, it's fun. So, it, like, you know, it beats sleep. But if it's work and I'm not enjoying the work, then I get sucked into sleep land because it's masculine, and then the work suffers. So in a way, it kind of forces me to do things that I enjoy doing, or I'm just not going to be able to do it well anyway. And if it was feminine, I feel like that would never happen. Like I feel like it'd just be ignored.
Right. Yeah. I mean, my consume is double feminine, so I hear you.
Yeah, right. So that's probably the worst. Like my blast is not
like
even double feminine. So.
Yeah, exactly. At least too, that's like your so-called hobby animal, right? Like, so, should be fun. Although I do love my sleep. It's if I had to pick a favorite animal, it would be my sleep. I've been talking to a lot of double masculine sleep, so I
Right. Yeah.
can't tell if that's a pattern for everybody, or if it's just, does everybody just like their sleep because it's the most personal thing? I wonder.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
What I've found is if I've been doing too much consume play and I don't take time to do sleep, when I meditate, it will take over the meditation. Like it's very hard to focus. It like forces its way into my awareness. And if
Oh,
I'm trying to
interesting.
sleep, it will be, as I'm trying to sleep, it'll be ticking away.
Oh.
And if I do fall asleep, I'll have wild dreams. And then I'll wake up and be like, oh man, that sucked. I might as well have not slept. So what I've been doing now is just making sure I can kind of feel the I guess the tenseness of sleep has to be done. And so these days I've been consciously being like, okay, no, that's enough consume. This is gonna just punish me later. Now I would just go for a walk without headphones, because normally I'll
Oh.
listen to some lecture or some audio or one of these kind of things while I'm walking and just consume more. So I'll just go, no. I have to walk, and the sleep process will just happen automatically. And then at least when I do my meditation or go to sleep, I'll have kind of like some quietness. Otherwise, I'm screwed. Or when I'm working as well, like I have to do it, or my work will suffer, whatever that work is. I don't know if that's. I assume a sleep blast would have those problems too, because it would like. That's kind of what happens is they crash and stuff, right?
I
And
think
they'll get
so.
work. Maybe their work would suffer really hard, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, I don't know why I can't focus," because they never ever went for a walk without headphones.
Yeah, well, I think a sleep blast also isn't narrowing for self either. Like,
Yeah,
really, so outer world focused, right? It's
yeah,
missing.
very extroverted.
Yeah, missing the inner world. Anyway, I'd like to give you the last opportunity at the last question or comment. I know we're rounding up on like about an hour here. Thank you for seriously, thank you for coming on. I really love talking to all sorts of different people. Thank you for dealing with the baloney that happened earlier. We'll see how this turns
Yeah, that
out.
was funny. Yeah, you should like somehow edit that in a way that makes sense.
Maybe. Or maybe I'll just leave it as is. I'll probably just link the two videos together. Just leave it. Leave it
Yeah,
how it
man,
is.
it's your show. Do whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so what are you thinking? What are your thoughts?
I don't know. It will just hit me later. In the
Mm,
shower.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't know. It just seems to me like I'm having a hard time building a picture in my head of what your tidal waves look like.
Okay.
Which like kind of like that just internally bothers me. And that seems to happen when I talk to a lot of EJs. Is I don't know if I'm getting like an honest representation of what the tidal wave is, because they don't want to talk about themselves. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so it is kind of like all I can think about is if I apply the logic to myself and be like, okay, what am I doing? I've already told you what I'm doing. Like in the morning, it's all about how to build my fucking magical character. What am I going to do in these extreme situations if they ever arise ever?
Yeah.
You guys just seem to not be doing that. You guys are just kind of throwing yourself into the kind of weird, like into the chaos every day, even though you're like demon chaos.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm throwing myself into the chaos as much as maybe other EJs who are play above sleep.
Yeah.
But for sure, there's still that double activated blast. And
Oh, hey, how does NE work for you? That's kind of one to ask.
okay,
Like,
all right,
since
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
actually have NE, like.
right. Especially feminine demon NE, right? Oh, in fact, actually, I don't know if this. Anyway, I'll mention it. I definitely did used to have that sleep paralysis problem as a kid, all the
Yeah.
time, and it was often when I was sleeping. I realized later it was when I was sleeping on my back. Um, but a lot of times too, it'll be when I'm really stressed out, right? So, again, and that seems to come up a lot, right? Like it's like it is like my body is telling me, "Don't move. You need to stay still. You need to calm down. You need to stop doing."
And did you feel the evil presence in the room or see shadow
Um,
people or anything?
yeah, it's sometimes I see a human, like a real life human, out of the corner of my eye. But a
Right.
lot of times it is like it's not even that I see a presence, it's that I feel it's there. Like that I feel like somebody's there. You know how like sometimes you get a random, like I feel like someone's watching me?
Uh,
Oh, you don't get that?
like whenever I do, I just know it's my brain tricking me, so I'm not worried. Like,
Oh, but you know what feeling I'm talking about.
yeah, I think so, but I don't know if it'd be the same equally.
So it's not like so it's like almost like let's just call it a smell for lack of a better word, like something that you can sense is there but you can't see it,
To me, it
right?
feels more like a visceral, like
Yeah.
a like the cat feeling where there's like, oh, something's there, and
Yeah,
then like you feel
exactly.
the weird tingly energy spike, and
Yeah.
then I just go, oh, my brain thought something was there. Let's check. No, can't see the person. Then I'll just ignore it.
Right. Yeah, so yeah, no, for me it was definitely like, and I would like, I can tell when I'm dreaming, when I'm having that sleep paralysis, because I can I'll try to scream and I won't be able to say anything.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's how I know it's in there. And then I've learned how to like then like sort of close my eyes and go back to sleep so I can wake up for real.
Right. Have you tried making fun of them? Like you can mentally make fun of the demon
Really?
people you're seeing. Yeah,
Really?
and they get all awkward and they just go away.
Really?
That's the technique I always read. If you have sleep paralysis and you see the shadow people, you make
Uh-huh.
fun of them. It's like, hey, what are you gonna do? You're gonna get on top of me? You're gonna give me a good time? And there's kind of like they go, and they just leave.
So now, and yeah, and so this is seeping into my NE, right? So like I believe that might be something like, and it's why I don't want to, it's why I'm so afraid of doing lucid dreaming, even though I think it would be fantastic. I am just so afraid that my soul will get lost in the ether. And
Yeah, I never heard of that happening. Um, I mean, with the demon people, the shadow people, whether it's like a real person or
mhm,
like a real thing or not, like
yeah,
I just told you the tool to deal with it. So in my mind, like if I had that knowledge, that means it's never going to be a problem again. Um, that's kind of
yeah.
how I work. It's like now I know how to deal with it. So if it happens, no problem. Um, Plus, I knew it would happen more often if you sleep on your back, so I just didn't sleep on my back. Um,
Right.
but yeah,
But
if
when
I
you
do
do
sleep on my
lucid dreaming, do you see them if you lucid dream?
back, no.
No, you don't. See, I'm
Nah,
always afraid that I will see things that will take me away from here if I go into a lucid dream.
I've heard of people worrying about that with astral projection, but not with lucid dreaming, because lucid dreaming you're basically just in your own head.
So okay, so like, right. I knew this somehow related to my NE, right? So like, I don't know that there's a difference between lucid dreaming and astral projection.
I don't really know either. I've never done astral projection. I've just read about people who do it.
Uh,
Um, on forums and stuff. But with lucid dreaming, what happens is really just what you're creating. So I used to have this problem where I'd try to fly, but I'd also think, oh, what if I can't fly properly? What if I mess it up and then I won't be able to fly? And then I'll be like, oh, what if I think of some like monster or something? And then like I'd feel the presence and know like a monster's coming. And I'd be like, okay, cool. I just got to create like a laser cannon. But what if I can't? And then I'll freak out and wake myself up. But that goes away with practice. Like, so it really is your own self messing yourself up. Or you can just wait and be like, okay, cool, get me monster, bite me, whatever, see what happens. And it'll never hurt or anything. It just kind of comes up to you, doesn't know what to do, or like it'll just go through you or whatever.
Wow. Wow.
So
Yeah. I had that once happen with with a thing that I decided to put during a meditation that I was doing, and something scary came up in my field of vision, so I decided to take a sword in my mind and slice it, and it
yeah,
worked, and it went away. And I was like, "Ooh, that was really cool." It's probably why I don't meditate as much as I would like to, because these
I
things
never
just
had
sort of
anything like that happen in meditation. That's crazy.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Maybe that's it too.
the
Like, so,
demon
like,
E seems a lot more crazy.
yeah, like, and that's the thing too. Like, like people always ask if I've done like ayahuasca or whatever. Like my sister thinks it's crazy that I've never done drugs, because like the way that I talk sometimes, she's like, "Are you sure you've never done drugs?" um.
You never smoke
Uh.
weed?
No. Mm-mm.
Sounds like a fun thing you should try.
No. Mm-mm. No.
Okay.
Um. She gave me, like a facial, like when somebody like, does the like um when you get a basically a face massage with oil.
Um, I've never done that before, but okay.
Okay. But you can imagine it, right? My
Yeah, maybe
my
a
s-
little TMI. You don't have to tell me what you do with your husband, but
no, my sister's an esthetician,
nah,
right? And so she like, and hairdresser and all that, right? So
yeah,
she
yeah.
knows how to do a professional like face massage.
Okay, sure.
And I think it's nothing TMI, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm just
Um
teasing. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I know. But like she's doing it, and I start to see like these like kaleidoscope, like neon rainbow images that I'm explaining to her, and she was like, that's what
Are
she
they
was like.
just shapes or are they actually like a
Uh,
discernible picture?
like they were like, it was like a black background, and like it was like rainbow. I forget. There's this thing that I used to play with as a kid where like, like you scratch away the black and then there's rainbow behind it. Um but it's like these rainbow lines of
Mhm.
like 2D images, that like of a rose that like turned into a dragon, that like just turned into all these different things, and it was just because she was like, rubbing my temples.
Wow, yeah. Nah, I never experienced that.
No. And so
It
like
sounds like what some people get if you're doing awake-induced lucid dream, which is where you lie on your back and you need to have slept for like 5 hours first, then you wake up for 30 minutes, you go back to bed, and as you're falling asleep, you try to stay conscious as you're going through the stages of sleep. So you have to basically go through the stage where your body gets paralyzed. You feel like you're falling because you can't feel anything. Then you start hearing things and seeing images. It sounds like that.
yeah, I can hear things and see images. um
That's not
Not
good.
being asleep too.
Yeah.
I know it's not real. It's not real. But yeah, sometimes it's difficult to close my eyes sometimes.
Yeah. Wow. Do you reckon? Have you spoken to other NEs about this and seen if they have that same
No,
thing?
actually, no, I haven't. And it'll be interesting to track, right? Especially Demon Any.
Yeah, because I've been really interested in how I'll speak to different people with masculine or feminine, like my functions, so SE and E.
Mm-hmm.
And I've basically been able to build the picture that the people with masculine sensory, they're very much more in the world, aware of what's going on around them, whereas the feminine sensories with masculine NI, they're not. like we're always off somewhere else, and that's why we're like not paying attention to what's happening around us or whatever. Plus our brain thing where we're like probably more likely to twist what we're seeing or something like that. The in ESO, it seems similar. Like from the feminine NEs I've talked to, it really still seems like because you've got masculine sensory, you're like more out in the world. It's just you're tracking something differently. So, like you guys will be tracking. Okay, there's these 3 people. This guy could go that way, or that way. This guy could go that way, that way. This guy could go that way, or that way.
Yeah, I think the SI is different though.
Yeah, don't know what's like for the SI, but Demon NE, just seems to me like demons and clowns and stuff. Like even from watching Dave and Chan type celebrities, that seems to be what they're like scared of, some crazy shit happening. And now you're telling me people can massage your temples and you'll see images and stuff. That's yeah, I'm not surprised you guys are like afraid of like demon clowns and stuff.
Yeah, because it could be very real. Like I would not like those things that they like there's like a scare thing, like the jump scares on the end of a video.
Yeah.
That's like I hate that because I could picture that happening right now.
Yeah, right. So it sticks with you, eh?
Yeah. Anyway, I know you said you had somewhere to be that you wanted to give yourself a half an hour to get ready.
Yeah, like 10 minutes. It's just another online interview, but not much related to.
Oh, okay. Ooh, what are you interviewing about, or you don't feel comfortable saying?
Oh, it's just some Sadhguru thing that I've been getting involved with, like some volunteer work.
Oh, fun. What are you doing with that?
I do the meditations from Sadhguru, and they every now and then contact you to do random volunteer work if you want to. And I want to go to India next year July this year, to stay at the ashram and learn like the more advanced meditations and stuff. You're more likely to be chosen if you've been doing volunteer work. So they're doing this thing called the Conscious Planet Movement, where they're trying to get a bunch of people involved with helping to protect the soil and the waterways, because apparently our soil is getting depleted. We won't be able to grow food. So I don't know exactly what's involved. That's what I'm going to find out.
Yeah.
It's kind of just an online seminar where they tell us what they need people to do and what skills they require in what areas. And then if you can do something, you can do something. If you can't, you don't.
And so then that's what the interview is about, or that the interview is different
not
things
so much
so that
an
you can
interview
get
as much as like a big seminar, and then you break off into rooms to kind of discuss ideas.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really neat. What got you interested in that?
Just because I do the Sadhguru meditations, and so I just got involved.
Okay, all right. That's really neat. Dante's trying to scare me.
Is he sending you a jump scare?
Yeah. He was like, "Can I jump scare you?" No, just a boo. Here, I'll put it up on the screen.
Oh yeah.
Right. I don't know if you see these two.
Right. Sup, Dante? How's it going?
Yeah. You the one person watching right now. Anyway, this is great. I really really appreciated you coming on. It was so crazy the first part, but I really like to hear about, especially like lead TIs, right? Like lead masculine TIs. What is it that you're doing? Because I think that's my
just figuring things out. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Said, "Hey, Evan, you two doing great."
Oh, thank you. You should have been there for the beginning. We totally fucked it up.
We totally messed it up. I don't know what's going on.
Funny.
Am I still pixelated, by the way?
Yeah, and you're lagging too. Yeah.
And I'm lagging. Oh, beautiful.
You were lagging more before. It seems to have caught up.
It seems to have caught up. Okay. All right. That's fantastic. Cool. But anyway, yeah, I'll keep that in mind. I'm gonna try to maybe. You said that like you don't feel like you've heard what a true EJ tidal wave is, and I don't know that I could do that. Take two, yeah. I don't know that I could do that on demand, right? And have it be a full correct version of what's happening.
You need to think about it more.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I don't even realize how it's happening. I do know that I've recently realized that I came out of a 6 to 8 month one where I just like completely and everybody could see it. Everybody could see that I was not that I was on edge, not being my best self, and yeah, I don't know. I'm still working through it. Can't quite verbalize it.
Yeah, I think I'd know after the first week. Oh yeah, I'm feeling something is coming up. It wouldn't be like 8 months before I realize I'm stressed.
Right. Yeah. Well, it just feels like you always need to take on more. And isn't that the crazy thing too? I don't know if you feel this way about your consume, like for the bliss. It's like your body tricks you into thinking that that's going to be the solution. Like it's like, oh, I know I'm stressed out, but I just gotta. If I just like maybe do more, right? Like if I just do more, then I'll be fine. I'll be caught up.
Yeah, right. So in my mind, I'd be like, well, what if you're just doing it wrong all the time?
Right.
Like,
Right.
don't you look it up to make sure? Like
you're like,
or
I just need to research more. I just need to
Yeah.
research more, right?
You might
Right.
research a better way and then be like, damn, I just wasted 30 years of my life doing it wrong. So I don't want to do that. So I'll try to find the best way first.
Yeah.
And then just never do anything.
Find
So
the best way.
you need the two in the middle. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna head off soon.
Yeah. Thanks for joining.
Do you need
Have
to do
an
anything
awesome
to
day.
wrap it up? You're gonna play a video?
Nope. No. I only have a beginning video.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, good luck on your sad guru thing.
Yeah, all good. Thanks for
Yeah.
inviting me to your channel.
You're welcome. Maybe we'll do it again sometime where it's not like crazy.
Yeah, this time we won't mess it up. All good.
Thanks, Evan. Have a good one.